This is a no tax on tips calculator to determine whether or not some or all of your tips are deductible, and I will link to this calculator in the description. You can click the link, access this spreadsheet, put in your own figures to determine if you can deduct your tips. And the reason is that there is a max deduction, okay? If you make over $25,000 in tips, the most you can deduct is $25,000. That's the limit. $25,000 is the most tips you can deduct. Also, there's an income threshold. If you make over $150,000 as a single person or $300,000 as a married couple filing jointly, it phases out your deduction. So I will run a scenario here and show you how this calculator works. You can put in your own figures yourself for your own unique situation. Let's say we make $20,000 in tip income. All right. And then we need to put in our combined income, including the tip income. All right. All of our income combined. And let's say it's $50,000. Okay. You'll see that, and we need to put our filing status, which is a drop-down menu. Let's start with single. Okay. So we have single here. You'll see that all $20,000 of our tips are deductible, and it doesn't matter if we itemize or use the standard deduction. We get this deduction either way, which is very nice. All right. Now, what happens when our income starts to climb up to, let's say, $160,000? Okay. Well, you'll see that the phase out has begun, and we're no longer able to deduct all of our tips, just some. And the higher we go, of course, you'll see that the phase out eliminates our entire deduction. Also, if we go down here and we lower our income, remember how I said there's a $25,000 cap? Well, let's say you had $40,000 in tip income. Well, your max deduction is still $25,000. The reason is that that is the limit. The maximum amount of tips you can deduct is $25,000. Now let's jump over to filing jointly. Let's say that we're filing with our spouse. You have to put in your combined income with your spouse. Maybe you and your spouse both work 2 jobs. That's 4 jobs total. So that could be, let's say we put in like $120,000, okay? All right, you'll see that we still get $25,000 because it's capped out. All right, let's put this down here. Let's put our tip income at $25,000 because that's the limit. That's the most we can deduct. But our spouse and I, let's say our spouse does quite well and has a nice income, and we make $320,000 combined with all sources of income. Do you see how that phased out our deduction? We have $25,000 in tip income, but now we can only deduct $5,000. Again, it doesn't matter if it's a standard deduction or itemized. This is our deduction that we get. But these are pretty good phase out limits. And so let me jump over and show you how you would enter this on tax planning software. All right, now this part is more intended for tax pros. If you're not a tax pro, you can still use the calculator. Just go over to the link in the description. But if you're a tax pro using Forager Tax Planner, you enter the total income for your client. But we go down here, and now we need to add the deduction that we just calculated on that calculator I just showed you. Now, let's say our client is getting a $10,000 deduction from their no tax on tips. All right, so very easily, you can already see in this real-time summary the baseline where the total deduction for the client is going to be 15,750, so standard deduction for 2025. That's their tax bill. That's their effective tax rate. We jump over here, and we can see their tax bill dropped about $2,000. Their tax rate went from 13 and a half down to 11.25, all by adding this additional deduction in the tax strategies. And this is the no tax on tip. So anyway, just wanted to show you very quickly what that would look like if you create a PDF report and you can show kind of a before and after of current and after with that no tax on tip deduction factored in. Anyway, I do hope you found this helpful. Check out the links in the description. Thank you for watching.